What is up, guys? Welcome back to another live PPR mock draft here. We're going to be using ESPN, the Fantasy Football ESPN 12 team, head-to-head points PPR mock draft. I'm picking from spot 4. If you are picking in this, fourth overall, this is the perfect video for you. I have done picks 1, 2, and 3 already. You can check those out in the playlist that I have. But man, we're going to get started here in a little over a minute, but I got to break some news. And you should have already been bracing for this, but the big news just came out. Alvin Kamara, Pro Football Talks Mike Florio reports the Saints running back Alvin Kamara is bracing for a suspension of at least 6 games. So that's going to knock him down in his ADP. I think with ESPN right now, they got him at 15. In Underdog and Drafters.com, which are best ball sites, he was going around at the end of the second round. And now, man, he's going to plummet. He's probably going to tumble down to the 5th, maybe 6th round. Who knows? Maybe even farther. And again, it's at least 6 games. There's potential for this to be a lot more than that. So for now, Alvin Kamara, he was already off my board. I didn't even have him as a top 12 running back. I was already bracing for a 3 or 4 game suspension, but now he's going to be crossed off the board completely. So we can take a peek here at the Saints depth chart real quick. They do have Mark Ingram hanging around still, Devine Ozigbo, Dwayne Washington, Tony Jones Jr., and Abram Smith. A lot of people are excited about the UDFA Abram Smith. And the Saints did just try out David Johnson last week, so there's potential for them to sign another running back. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But big news there, Alvin Kamara probably not going to be around for a full season. So we'll get into the draft here. It looks like we're about to start in 10 seconds. Before we get into that too, I did want to say the 2022 draft kit is available for sale. I have, let me actually go to thefantasyfellowship.com real quick for you, show you guys where to get it, how to get it.
The best day of the
year. Let me turn off Matt Berry there. But anyways, the 2022 draft kit is available. Hit the link there. Just go down here and hit it. You're going to get access to my projections, which I'll be referencing these throughout the video tonight. And again, every Thursday night, we'll do a live mock draft. If you guys want to participate, I can send you guys invites if you want to follow me on Twitter at theFellowKGB, all that good stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new. We're going to be doing this all summer long. And I do want to get into some Yahoo because I know that's half PPR. Well, maybe we'll do some sleeper. I'll try some different apps. I don't always have to use ESPN. But here we go. We're underway. We're on the clock. You got Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, who I know was the thumbnail. He's been falling to the 4th pick a lot, so I thought I might have a shot at him. And that would have been our pick if he was there. So Christian McCaffrey goes number 2, Cooper Kupp number 3, and that leaves us with Austin Ekeler, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry. We got 25 seconds to make the pick real quick. If I'm just looking at my rankings, I do have Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, and then my number 3 RB is Austin Ekeler. That's definitely the Chargers are a team we want to draft this year, so I'm going to go ahead and select Austin Ekeler here. But again, I apologize with the thumbnail. Christian McCaffrey, I thought we might have a shot at him. That would have been the pick. But we'll take Austin Ekeler either way. It's still a running back, and we'll see what happens. Usually in the turn, I like the wide receivers there at the end of the 2nd round and early parts of the 3rd round. So we might pivot to receiver. I do like the running back depth a little bit later in the draft. So if you're picking in the 4th overall spot, I think you're looking at one of these top 4 players, JT, CMC, Cooper Kupp, or Austin Ekeler. Those are really the only 4 guys I would consider with the first 4 picks. Derrick Henry, if you want Derrick Henry, but I'm just a little bit nervous about the wear and tear. He's been carrying the ball a lot throughout his career. He had the foot injury last year that derailed things, and I don't know if I trust the Tennessee Titans offense much this year. They don't have an alpha receiver. AJ Brown, of course, in Philadelphia now. Robert Woods is nice, but I think that offense might take a step back this year. And again, another year older for Derrick Henry. After Derrick Henry at 5, though, you see Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon. That's the earliest I've seen Joe Mixon go at 7th overall. And then Jamar Chase, which is interesting. I guess in terms of like the hierarchy for the Bengals, I mean, Jamar Chase should be the first Bengal taken, and then Joe Mixon. And then we're going to look to maybe slap T. Higgins there at pick 21. But we're moving, we're grooving. Entering the end of the 1st round here, you see Justin Jefferson go round 1, pick 9. Najee Harris, good value there. And then DeAndre Swift. A lot of people are starting to get excited about DeAndre Swift here. And I don't know why this guy just took Alvin Kamara. Maybe he does not know what's going on with the news right now. And guys that were drafted, like I see a lot of best ball people and whatever, they're still taking Kamara in the 3rd round of drafts, but I'm just like, he's going to be suspended for 6 games. Like, I get it, but part of me, just morals and whatnot, I won't be taking Kamara on my teams. Devontae Adams starts the 2nd round. Stephon Diggs, anytime I can get Stephon Diggs round 2, I think that's going to be a slam dunk pick for me. This is my top 5 receiver rankings right here. I got Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Chase, Diggs, and Lamb. And I kind of got all guys. Well, basically, I have Kupp and Jefferson up by themselves pretty much. They're separated by about a touchdown. So Kupp and Jefferson are the clear top two. Jamar Chase is kind of the clear number three. He's kind of all by himself here with 260, I guess if I'm looking at PPR points, kind of all by himself in 307 points. And then I have Stephon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb rounding out the top five, and they're kind of both fringe first-round picks right now. But we're on the clock here. My guy CeeDee Lamb's available. He's one of my favorite players to draft, as well as Aaron Jones. But any chance that I can get a top five player at that position, I think I have to do it. And I really do like Mike Evans here too. So the players that speak out, Lamb, Jones, if I wanted a running back, and I think Mike Evans. But I have to stick to my board. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb here. Again, he's my wide receiver 5 right now. You see I have Mike Evans up here at wide receiver 7. And that's a huge part because, well, Rob Gronkowski had just retired the other day. And then I think Chris Godwin's going to start on the season on the PUP list. So that's going to be 6 games, no Godwin, no Gronk. Mike Evans has caught 13 touchdowns and 14 touchdowns in his 2 seasons with Tom Brady. So that's tremendous value for Mike Evans. If there's any chance I can get him at 28, that's stealing. So we'll see what happens. I really like, if you have the option to pick your draft spot, get a top 5 pick. You're going to get a stud player with your first pick. And then this is what you get round 2. Basically Kelsey fell to round 2, pick 8, but Lamb, Akers, Barkley, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb. And if I can get T. Higgins or Mike Evans to fall to me here, I'm feeling really, really good about this. And I'll show you where I got Higgins. Now Higgins, probably one of my favorite players, just a guy that I want to root for. And again, he's pretty damn good. He's almost at the end of the last year, he was up there with Jamar Chase with some of his games. So if you can get Chase, that's great. But T. Higgins is no consolation prize. And wow, we have the opportunity to draft both of them here as people are taking, start around 3 was Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, David Montgomery. This is a slam dunk pick for me. I'm going with Mike Evans. I'm going to stay true to my rankings. Again, I have Evans as my wide receiver number 7. So this, for us to start with Lamb and Evans as our wide receiver core with Austin Ekeler, this is sweet. This is a dream draft right now. And if you're worried about running back too, I mean, I really liked Aaron Jones. I really like Saquon Barkley in the 3rd round here. But I think for me, the way I've been seeing the board, the value at wide receiver, end of round 2 and pretty much all throughout round 3. Like we're talking again, T. Higgins. There's even Mark Andrews sliding to round 3. I like that a lot, and I'm a big Michael Pittman fan this year. So there's a lot of value here. And as I get into the 4th round, I'm probably going to continue to take wide receiver here because I do like the value of running backs a little bit later. We'll look at that as it goes. But so far, again, start of round 3, you get Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott. I like Nick Chubb in the 3rd round. I think Ezekiel Elliott, that's a little bit high for him. I mean, I definitely would be taking these receivers like Evans and Higgins and even Mark Andrews. Actually, if we go to my flex tab here, and again, this is all, if you purchase the 2022 draft kit, you're going to get access to my Google Sheet document here, as well as a bunch of articles and research and rankings and cheat sheets and all that good stuff. But if I just filter everything by PPR points, I mean, I got Mark Andrews as the 15th best player, Travis Kelce as the 12th best player. And you look at here, I mean, we got a value in Mike Evans. I got CeeDee Lamb here and Austin Ekeler. So I got 3 players in the top 17 of my rankings to fall to me. And we'll see who else continues to fall. Recap round 3, Ezekiel Elliott, David Montgomery, Mike Evans, that's who we got. T. Higgins, that's a dream scenario if I had to choose between the 2. That's going, things are going really well for us. And then Mark Andrews, Josh Jacobs, Keenan Allen, Breece Hall. Breece Hall's an interesting one. I'm not super excited to draft the Jets rookie running back, but history is on his side. There's been a tremendous amount of success for the first rookie running back to be taken in the NFL draft. Usually means really good things for him his rookie season. But sometimes I get a little bit nervous about that Jets offense. He does have Michael Carter behind him too. And there was a blurb that just came out the other day saying Breece Hall's Batman and Michael Carter's Robin. So there's going to be a little bit of a ceiling cap on his receiving workload, I believe, for Breece Hall. So you see Jalen Waddle. I like the value there on Jalen Waddle, especially in a PPR league. I think he's actually going to outproduce Tyreek Hill in terms of receptions and overall PPR points. Josh Allen, round 3, pick 11. I'm not interested in taking the first quarterback off the board. I think there's potential for that, but I don't know if I like it. I like waiting for quarterback for sure. A.J. Brown rounds out our third round pick 12. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, DJ Moore. There's Patrick Mahomes. So we're getting to the second quarterback off the board. And then J.K. Dobbins. I'm kind of pumping the brakes on J.K. Dobbins in the fourth round. If I'm being honest, in the fourth round, the guys that I want, Michael Pittman Jr., Mike Williams, maybe Kyle Pitts. It's a little bit early on a tight end, but I really love Courtland Sutton this year. I have a hard time picking between Williams and Sutton. But man, the ability to get Mike Williams in the fourth round, that seems wrong. I think on Underdog and Drafters.com, he's a top 30 pick. And here we are. We're going to be picking at pick 45. So we'll see if he makes it there. But these are the names that stick out. Pittman Jr., who just went round 4, pick 6. But man, if I can get Mike Williams, and I'll tell you what, Courtland Sutton, that's one of my good friends asked me who is the guy that's going to win leagues this year. I think it's Courtland Sutton. There's a really good Denver beat reporter, football guy, Cecil Lammey, who's been talking up Courtland Sutton and just how much I guess it's very clear if you go to Denver camp, Courtland Sutton is Russ Wilson's guy. And he comps pretty fairly to DK Metcalf. And man, Courtland Sutton's been through a lot in his time with Denver, through a lot of quarterbacks, ups and downs, injuries. And I just think Courtland Sutton's probably that guy that I want to make sure I get on my team. But if we stay true to my rankings, here you see Courtland Sutton coming in as my 20th best player. There's Michael Pittman. And then Mike Williams, man, he's actually higher than Courtland Sutton. So these are the three guys that I'm looking at and thinking, man, if we could plug in one of these mofos as our flex, we're sitting pretty good. Deontay Johnson just went before us, so it's a toss-up. Now, we do have Austin Ekeler already. We could potentially try and stack the Chargers and try and get Ekeler, Williams, and maybe even Justin Herbert. And then we just get basically all of the Chargers touchdowns, which could be a lot of fun. But what I'm going to do here is we're going to go fishing. We're going to see, because Courtland Sutton's got that 59th ranking here. I'm going to collect Mike Williams because he's higher. He's like the next player that would get auto-drafted. So I'm going to collect Mike Williams, and we'll see if Sutton falls. Otherwise, I'm fine with Brandon Cooks here. I don't think he's a game breaker. He's not going to score a lot of touchdowns. Amari Cooper, we don't know what the quarterback situation is. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he's going to have a harder competition for receptions now that TJ Hawk, Swift, Chark, and then eventually Jameson Williams. So I'm not really loving these guys. Travis Etienne's an interesting guy if you want to grab him in the 4th round. It looks like now in the 5th round. But again, I like the running backs later. We could still get a guy like Elijah Mitchell. We could still get a guy like Devin Singletary. We could still get a lot of fun running backs. Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Damian Harris. Tons of running backs there that we can plug in as our RB2. So I'm not worried about that spot yet. Now, as we enter the 5th round, you see Darren Waller, who I think, again, I mentioned I like Kelsey and I like drafting Mark Andrews at ADP, but I think Darren Waller right now presents the best tight end value. And man, you got to think, how are you going to defend that offense in Las Vegas? You're going to have Devontae Adams on the outside getting a lot of looks, Hunter Renfrow in the slot doing things. You have Josh Jacobs worry about in the backfield. And then Darren Waller, who used to be the focal point of that passing game, now he gets to run a little bit more free because of the added weapons. But we're up to pick here. Again, Kyle Pitts, interesting. ETN, interesting. I love Darnell Mooney this year, but I'm going to collect my 4th top 10 ranked wide receiver in Courtland Sutton. And if you guys play, so I don't really care about these ESPN roster settings. In most leagues, you can start 3 receivers and a flex. For me, I play in a league where I can start 2 receivers and 2 flexes. So Sutton would not be on my bench. He would be a starter for me. And again, as we look here, go to my wide receiver tab. We got my receivers 7, 8, 9, and 5. So we have 4 of my top 9 wide receivers this year, and we have my 3rd ranked running back so far. So ESPN ADP has been very generous for us so far. But we're moving and grooving here. After I took Courtland Sutton, you see Travis Etienne, who in a lot of Underdog and Drafters.com best ball leagues, he's a 3rd round pick now. I've seen him go in the top 30, top 35. So he is a guy that's climbing the board, but we have to be careful of James Robinson. Brandon Cooks here on the side here. Brandon Cooks is a great pick in the 5th round. Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy. I'm not super excited about these guys in the 5th. Juju Smith-Schuster, that's okay. We still don't really know if we trust Juju. But Kyle Pitts, man, dude went for 1,000 yards, and the numbers that Marcus Mariota put up with Delanie Walker in his first few seasons are eye-popping. Delanie Walker was like tight end 3, 6, and 5, like in those first 3 seasons for Marcus Mariota. So Kyle Pitts could be a very busy guy, could have a really nice season. And I think like on the best ball leagues where a lot of people are paying to draft those teams, Kyle Pitts is a 3rd-round pick, guys. So if you can get him in the 5th round, that's stealing candy from a baby. There's Hunter Renfrow. There's Tom Brady. Tom Brady finishes out round 5. And then start of the 6th, you see Dallas Goedert, who I'm not taking Goddard in the 6th round when I can get guys later, especially Dalton Schultz. I'm not taking Goddard over Schultz. Goddard's going to have more, especially more red zone competition from A.J. Brown, and just alone A.J. Brown's presence puts him at the top of the depth chart anyways. And then you have Devonta Smith and Goddard. So Goddard and Smith are going to be 2nd and 3rd in the pecking order there. I like that pick of Eli Mitchell, Miles Sanders, Elijah Moore, Schultz, Mooney, Marquise Brown, and Devin Singletary. But we are up to pick. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna continue to take wide receivers. As I look at this board here, there's one guy that sticks out, and the fact that he can be my wide receiver 5. And again, I don't care about the ESPN roster settings. This would be my first player on my bench. And guys, I don't care about filling out my starting positions. I'm trying to build a team for the long haul. I want to collect the best players. I'm not going to put a square peg in a round hole. So I'm going to continue to draft the value here, and because after this, receiver is going to fall off soon. I'm going to take Gabriel Davis. And Gabe Davis, there's a ton of hype around him right now. In best ball leagues, he's like the 50th overall player taken in leagues, and I have him as my wide receiver 19 right now. If you remember what Gabe Davis did at the end of last season, let me just pull up those numbers because all of a sudden, a lot of opportunity has opened up for Gabe Davis in terms of snaps and depth charts and playing time. No more Emmanuel Sanders, no more Cole Beasley. And I just want to show you guys what Gabe Davis did at the end of last season. Everyone remembers the 200-yard, 4-touchdown game against the Chiefs. But you look at his production from about week 13 on. I mean, you got 5 games in double digits for PPR out of 7. And I mean, I think I would take that. This is a guy that I'm going to call up from my bench. But man, if he's seeing 7, 8 targets, I'm feeling really good about that. You see 7 targets, 5 for 85 and 2 touchdowns. Against Tampa Bay, 8 targets, 5 for 43 and a touchdown. So I think he's going to probably land somewhere in that range for points. But we're back here on the clock. And again, I told you we're going to wait for running back because round 7 is where the money's at. You get Kareem Hunt, who I like. I would like him more if we knew what the quarterback situation was going to be. But you're telling me I can get Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 7th round, the starting running back for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm going to take that all day. And the interesting thing about last year, Darrell Williams was there. Darrell Williams stepped up and played really well when Clyde Edwards-Helaire stepped out. But Darrell Williams is gone now. The team signed Ronald Jones. They still have Derek Ware there, or Derek Gore there, and I think Jerick McKinnon's there as well. But the huge part is they brought in Ronald Jones, who just doesn't catch passes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be the primary passing back there. I think he's going to be a really safe, reliable running back too. And if I just show you guys, let's actually just look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire's fantasy points. A lot of people don't know, but the man had his gallbladder removed last summer, and he dropped like 30 pounds. And I think that's a pretty glaring reason as to why he underperformed last year. But the man still averaged 12 PPR points per game last year. And you look at some of his numbers as a running back too. I think I'm fine with this, and I'm expecting that to be his floor. I think his numbers will kind of look more like they did his rookie year, if not better. So I love me some Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 7th round, man. I mean, I should have probably taken a quarterback there, Jalen Hurts or something, but we lock in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And there's still plenty of quarterbacks I like here. The way the ESPN rankings have been shaking out, Russell Wilson used to fall pretty far here, but man, we can get Stafford, Derek Carr, Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins. I'll probably end up grabbing 2 quarterbacks, and we'll play matchups throughout the year. But man, if I could have grabbed someone that fell, that would have been nice. But either way, we're locked and loaded here. We got 5 stud wideouts, Austin Ekeler and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But as we're looking to make our next pick here, let's kind of take a look around and see who's out there. At the top of the list, Garrett Wilson. Christian Kirk's interesting. We're already loaded at wide receiver here. Michael Carter, we talked about him a little bit. We can still get Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny are available. These guys are very interesting pieces. I do like the tight ends coming up here soon, specifically Zach Ertz. I think if I can wait for Zach Ertz at pick 100, I'm going to do that. But man, I think the fact that Matt Stafford's still available here, he's kind of the drop-off from clear, top 10, top 12 quarterbacks. So we'll lock in Stafford. We don't have any exposure to that Rams offense yet. But I just want to, advise some caution with Matthew Stafford. He has been, if you saw, he had a red question mark on him Let me see. There's no news blurb about it, but I just know he's been getting an injection on his throwing elbow. It seems like he had some, I don't know if it was like tendonitis or something, but he was getting some injections in his elbow this offseason. Damn it, we missed. Someone snagged Zach Ertz on us. That was going to be my tight end option, but let me see if there's anybody else there coming up. I really like Dawson Knox. I know we got Gabe Davis on the bench here, but Dawson Knox is probably a guy that sticks out to me. His ADP is, we just missed Dawson Knox, so everyone's snagging our guys here. But let's take I guess, just a full look approach here. I mean, to get Kenneth Walker, Rashad Penny, those two guys are starting running backs here. What's going on, Justin, man? Thanks for hanging out here. I'm getting sniped left and right. I missed on the quarterback run, so we ended up with Matt Stafford, which I'm fine with. To be like the last guy taking a starting quarterback, Matt Stafford's not a bad consolation. And then we've missed on tight end here, Dawson Knox and Zach Ertz. So I'll probably wait and see what we can make from the tight end list. But anyways, we're almost up to pick. How's that NBA draft going here? We're moving. I was monitoring this. We got moving to the 8th, 9th pick overall here, the first G League pick, and it's moving. So, but anyways, as I'm about to pick here, I mean, Christian Kirk, if we're talking about true value, he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver for Trevor Lawrence. I kind of like that. Ayuk and Claypool, I don't really know if I trust. I could draft Pat Freiermuth. He was a beast last year. I think he could be really nice as a low tight end 1, but I don't know if I want to reach on tight end here. But something about Kenneth Walker sticks out to me. That one seems a little mispriced, but man, to get Christian Kirk here, I mean, I have 17 seconds here. I mean, I got Christian Kirk as a top 33 wide receiver. And I think if I draft Kirk, I'll be done with wide receiver. So I'll end up with 6 wide receivers here. Yeah, so we ended up with Ekeler to start the draft. I'm cool with that at pick number 4. And then how did Auburn guy not go first? Yeah, I'm not sure. They like Banchero here. But either way, the Rockets did their work. And yeah, the receivers, man. We started with Ekeler, and then we just went wide receiver crazy here. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Mike Williams, Courtland Sutton, Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, and then, yeah, we got I'm locked down at running back, Austin Ekeler and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So from here on out, I'm going to collect some bench projects, and again, that's one of my favorite strategies is you lock in a running back 1, you find a running back 2 that you can, just, it's like your worst case scenario. You just want 10, 12 points from your running back 2 if the rest of your roster is strong. So from this point on, I'm not going to need another wide receiver. We hammered that market. And if we didn't take wide receiver, these are some of the guys that we'd be looking at. Like Russell Gage is a guy, again, Chris Godwin's going to be out for a little bit. So I like Russell Gage here. I think Jacoby Myers could be interesting. Robert Woods, but pretty much everyone's got question marks at this point. I don't think we can bank on them to be trustworthy guys. But from here on out, I'm going to start starring some running backs. One of my favorite running backs to draft right now is Rhamondre Stevenson. Now, he has reportedly – so first off, James White did re-sign with the team. He's likely going to miss the first 6 weeks, though. So with Stevenson, the report is he's been working on his pass-catching skills, and he's has a chance to open up as the 3rd down back. And we know Stevenson can bang it on 1st and 2nd down. And if he's playing all 3 downs – now, I know Damien Harris is there, but he's been kind of fragile through his first couple of seasons. So just collecting a guy like Rhamondre Stevenson and putting him on my bench, that feels really good. Maybe I can get him on the next pick. Let me just double check here. No, we should probably get him now, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm going to collect Stevenson here, and then maybe we consider looking at the tight ends. I still don't love anybody here. If I'm being honest, I don't mind waiting for tight ends later. We can get Irv Smith. We can get even Robert Tonyan makes sense if he's going to be ready to go. But I think Irv Smith, Cole Kmet, some of those guys I think we'll be fine with. And if you guys have watched my stuff before, I've waited. I like waiting for tight end. I usually don't play tight end early. There's always going to be a new tight end that emerges. Last year, I was on Dawson Knox, Pat Freiermuth, a couple other guys. So tight end, if you don't get a stud one, you can always plug in your 8 to 10, 12 points later. And I'm okay with at the end of the draft, if I know my weakness is tight end, I'm totally okay with that because there's only 3 or 4 really, really dominant ones that are going to tilt the field anyways, and we missed on them. So we're moving and grooving here. As I look at this board, it might be fun to just collect Trey Lance here. He's one of those guys where, man, outside of like Trey Lance has, when he's on the field and playing, he's got top 5, top 10 upside every week. I like Kirk Cousins. I like Tua. I like Trevor Lawrence. But something about Trey Lance, collecting him and putting him on the bench makes sense to me. And to be my quarterback too, again, I think I'm willing to just put him on my bench and see if anything happens. Again, I mentioned the elbow for Matthew Stafford that I've been monitoring, and I'm a little bit nervous on. So we'll see. But anyways, we have 2 final spots to fill on our bench and then 1 tight end spot. I think I'll probably look for, again, I guess I'll start starring some of these players here. I really like Irv Smith. I'm cool with Cole Kmet. If I can get one of those guys as my starters, I'm great with it. Even David Njoku, I'm nervous about Jacoby Brissett starting 8, 10, 12 games this year, though, so I don't want to do that. But all signs sound like Irv Smith is going to be the dude this year. And we'll see if we can get a backup. Even Cameron Brate, guys, with Gronk retiring, I think Cameron Brate might be worth a look. And then if I go to running back here, these PPR backs, Nyheim Hines, J.D. McKissic, these are like catnip for me. All the reports out of camp are that sounds like Matt Ryan is going to lift this offense up, and it sounds like they want to throw the ball a little bit more. They want to get Nyheim Hines involved more in this offense. So I love collecting Nyheim Hines on my bench, J.D. McKissic. And if we go even further down the list, you got the almighty handcuff and Alexander Mattison and a bunch of other guys further down the list. I even like Kenneth Gainwell, who caught a lot of touchdowns and ran a lot of touchdowns last year. So we're looking pretty good here. Looks like I'm going to maybe miss on the tight end. I'm not sure. Let's see what we got here. It says we should take Irv Smith next. He's towards the top of the list. So that will be the move if I can get Irv Smith here. And we will do such that. So Irv Smith, our tight end 1. And if you think about the Vikings offense, I think that's one of the hottest offenses I think that you have to have a good stance on. They're going to be running a new offense, all new coaching staff, and it's going to be kind of a LA Rams style offense. And if you think about the Rams last few seasons, they always had, 2 stud receivers. They always had a stud running back, and they threw the ball to the tight end. And I think Irv Smith, he's already cleared camp. He's been participating in full. He's a full year removed from his injury. And people were really excited about him last year before he went down. So I think Irv Smith getting a piece of that Vikings offense is where he's the cheapest part of the Vikings offense, not named Alexander Mattison. So go ahead and collect your Irv Smith if you can. And as we go here, again, we have 2 more bench spots to fill. I don't care about defense or kicker. I will always take those. Kicker should always be your last pick. And then after that, we'll figure out defense. But just look at the first couple weeks of the schedule. And essentially, you just want to find a defense that you can hold on to for the first 2, 3, 4 games. And then after that, once we get more information, you can figure it out. But man, this has been a really good draft. I know you probably think we're light on running back, but as long as Ekeler and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are healthy, they're not moving from our starting roster spot. Stevenson, and again, I think Stevenson could have some value here. Again, we saw what he could do when Damian Harris went out, and I just think maybe there's a little bit more on his plate. He's a really good pass catcher, and if he's touching the ball 10 to 15 times per game, Stevenson is a guy that I think I'm going to try and get him on my bench as much as possible this season. But if all else fails, I can always whip out Nyheim Hines. That'll be one of our last guys there. And then I might grab, if I can get McKissic, I'm kind of interested in McKissic yet. Let me look at the other running backs here. McKissic's an interesting guy. Madison just holding onto a handcuff, that might not be a bad idea either. And then I'll tell you what, I really like Kenneth Gainwell. I think he impressed me a lot last year. Look what he did against Dallas. 12 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown. 4 for 9 as a receiver. Really good receiving back. You look at the start of the season too. The guy got a rushing touchdown week 1, week 4. Ended up with 5 rushing touchdowns and receiving touchdowns. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him on the field a lot more this year as a passing weapon. So I like Kenneth Gainwell as a late sleeper. It looks like J.D. McKissic went. Maybe let me just double check my tight ends here, because Cameron Brate's still on the board, Tyler Higbee, Robert Tonyan, Evan Ingram. I really like Gerald Everett. We have Austin Ekeler and Mike Williams already. I don't know if I want to get too involved in that, but I mean, at this point in the draft, Cameron Brate probably needs to be considered. There's so many late sleepers here. Maybe I just look at defense. I don't know. I'm not going to pick defense. Well, let's go ahead and collect. I guess I should probably collect Alexander Mattison. But now we'll say screw it. I'm going to collect Robert Tonyan. I think he's going to be – we have to wait and see if he's ready for the regular season. He might be on the PUP list to start the year, but just with no Devontae Adams, there's a chance Robert Tonyan can be a lot more involved in this offense. And who knows, if Tonyan is on the PUP list to start the year, and I can draft him and slide him right into my IR spot and pick somebody up that goes undrafted. That might be the move. But that was pretty much our draft. And again, I know we're light on running back, but Austin Ekeler and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think they're going to be able to hold the fort down. And again, if you're nervous about the numbers from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, these were his last, I mean, look at his last 5 games, 10, 9, 19, 11, and 15.6. And keep in mind, Darrell Williams was playing very well in these games. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, guys, super sleeper right now, especially as a running back too in the 7th round, one of my favorite picks. So I'm feeling very good about this draft. Again, tight end, we'll see what the NFC North tight ends can do for us, Irv Smith, Robert Tonyan, but I really like this. And we got quarterback play too. We got Stafford versus Trey Lance. We'll have some decisions throughout the year. But my, oh my, the receiver rankings, my guys. We ended up with CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Mike Williams, Courtland Sutton, Gabriel Davis, and then we didn't stop there. We ended up with our worst receiver is Christian Kirk, which could be a lot of fun. I'm actually excited about Christian Kirk. He got the bag in Jacksonville, and we'll see if he can lead the team in receptions this year. I think he's going to flirt with 90, maybe 80, 90 catches this year. So I'm not going to make these last couple picks, guys. If you want my best kicker advice, my favorite kicker in the league is going to be the Daniel Carlson from the Vegas Raiders. That's probably one of the best bets. And I guess for defense, if this is the defensive board here, I really like the Chargers. I know they have a tough schedule this year with that NFC West, but the Chargers defense is going to be really good this year with all their additions that they made. They've struggled in the past, like they were ranked 25th last year. But I like them. I do like the Eagles defense. I think that could be an interesting option for us as well. They bolstered their secondary. The Eagles defense makes sense. Patriots. I guess I'd have to look at the schedule and try and figure that out. So I'm just going to grab screw it. We'll just grab a kicker here. No, I'll grab the defense. I'll grab the Eagles defense. I like the Eagles this year. That's one of my sleeper teams. But that's going to do it. Check out the 2022 draft kit. I do have that available on thefantasyfellowship.com. You'll get access to my spreadsheets and my rankings and everything there. And then while I have you here, I guess I'll just open it up and show you what's actually inside of it. Projections by position. So these are, quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. You can access the document here. You can download the Excel sheet straight up, or I have it compiled into a PDF. I have my rankings, which I'll be updating soon because projections don't equal rankings. But then I do have cheat sheets as well as some advanced data. And check out my blog. I've been putting a lot of information in that blog if I'm making updates and whatnot. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for your time. Like the video, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me this Thursday night. Go enjoy the rest of the NBA draft, and we'll see you later. Peace.